Another Oklahoma cop killed in cold blood. The state scrambles to find money, and a contaminated creek is still causing problems. This is OU Nightly. The man suspected of shooting and killing an Oklahoma deputy sheriff is in police custody this afternoon.
Authorities say Logan County Deputy Sheriff David Wade was shot by Nathan Aaron LaForce while Wade was attempting to serve an eviction notice. Wade was shot several times, including in the face. LaForce escaped the scene in the deputy's patrol car, then drove nearly 25 miles to the town of Coyle, where he stole another vehicle. Authorities finally tracked him down near Guthrie, about 50 miles north of Oklahoma City.
This is the second shooting death of an Oklahoma law enforcement official in less than a month. Officer Justin Turney of the Tecumseh Police Department was shot and killed on March 27th.
It's a tax day once again, and that can lead to more pressure for students who have never done taxes before. A Norman financial advisor says most students don't do taxes, and the first time they do, it can be overwhelming. OU Financial Aid and Education Services offers financial assistance and tax information for students all year round.
And the Oklahoma State Legislature is just one vote away from sending a proposed professional sports ticket tax to the governor's desk. The tax would increase the price of tickets for professional Oklahoma sporting events by 4.5% as part of an attempt to cut down on the state's over $800 million shortfall. Former Governor Brad Henry included the tax exemption since 2006 as part of its efforts to lure in, at the time, the New Orleans Hornets and eventually the Oklahoma City Thunder. If the bill becomes a law, it would apply to all tickets bought after July 1st, not affecting playoff ticket sales.
And the Senate passed a measure last week that could lead to the use of property tax revenue to fund police, firefighters, and jails. The measure would allow cities to ask voters to create public safety districts, and based on the property value assessment, the state would tax voters to help pay for safety measures. Increased revenue would pay specifically for public safety equipment, salaries, and benefits of city employees and jails. The Senate Appropriations Committee passed the bill 24-17. The measure now moves to a full Senate vote.
And a home security group has identified what it says are Oklahoma's safest cities. Piedmont ranks #1 with only 2 violent crimes and 35 property crimes last year. Owasso fell at #2 with 36 violent crimes recorded and 350 property crimes, followed by Veneta, Lone Grove, and Coweta, Oklahoma. Norman's ranking, it did not make the top 50 safest cities. Our webpage already has a link to it on the entire list. You can find it at ounightly.com.
Now, 8 months after fish and turtles died from saltwater levels in an Oklahoma creek, there's still no answer about where exactly this saltwater came from. An Oklahoma State geology professor says that the North Bird Creek contamination most likely came from deep in the earth. This contaminated water has forced landowners to move their cattle and horses for protection. An EPA spokesperson says they will continue to monitor the creek. Well, it was really foggy this morning.
It was a little bit foggy this morning. Kylie, I was kind of nervous driving to class, but then it got surprisingly sunny throughout the day. What are we looking for at the rest of the week?
All right, guys, that's right. Visibility was extremely low this morning. Right now, though, extremely sunny out there. High 70s for us here in Norman and then 80s throughout the rest of the state. Take a look out in Guyman, 86 right now for them. All right, so our current wind gusts, we are lighter out here in the central portion of the state, but again, those wind gusts are going to be up to 25 miles per hour out closer to the Panhandle. Winds are going to increase for us tomorrow, though, and throughout the rest of the evening this evening as our next storm system does start to move through. Okay, so coming up in Maine weather, I'll be talking about our next chance for some storms and a rainy weekend ahead of us. But for right now, back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Kylie. Well, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development says Ben Carson will speak at a memorial ceremony for the Oklahoma City bombing. Carson will speak tomorrow, the 22nd anniversary of the 1995 attack. The explosion killed 168 people, including 19 children, making it the deadliest attack on U.S. soil until 9/11 6 years later.
And Harley Toothman joins us now in the News Center with the latest on the Facebook murder suspect. Harley?
Police say the Facebook murder suspect killed himself after police chase in Pennsylvania. Steve Stevens, the man who fatally shot a 74-year-old Cleveland man on a Facebook video, shot himself at the end of the police pursuit. Stevens was spotted at a McDonald's after a 2-day nationwide manhunt. Stevens claimed to have killed more than a dozen people in his Facebook video. Police said they have not confirmed any other deaths. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg spoke out on how Facebook plans to handle future violent videos.
We have a lot of work, and we will keep doing all we can to prevent tragedies like this from happening.
The Facebook murder of Robert Godwin Sr. prompted Facebook to review how quickly its users can report material that violates standards. And President Trump signed a new executive order in Wisconsin today, implementing the Buy American, Hire American slogan of his campaign.
Together, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that more products are stamped with those wonderful words, made in the USA.
The order looks to protect certain American-made goods and calls for a review of the H-1B visa program for skilled workers. And Emily, Fate of the Furious set a global box office record, earning $532 million in its opening weekend, surpassing Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Thanks, Harley. Looks like I'll have to make it to the movies this weekend. And the now closed Pegasus Air Sports awarded a Texas woman $760,000 last week after she was badly injured in a skydiving accident. Mackenzie Wethington fell more than 3,000 feet to the ground January of 2014 in Chickasha. Her injuries included damage to her liver, kidney, brain bleeding, a broken pelvis, shoulder blade, and several ribs. Wethington's surgeon says if she truly fell 3,000 feet, it is a miracle she survived.
As Oklahoma braces for storm season, the state's Department of Health is looking for volunteers to respond in a disaster. The Oklahoma Medical Reserve Corps is a statewide system aimed at identifying, training, and organizing medical and public health professionals to help in that disaster, whether natural or man-made. While many volunteers do have a medical background, it's not required. To learn more or become a volunteer, visit www.okmrc.org.
And Oklahoma healthcare providers are urging state lawmakers to raise the state tax on cigarettes by $1.50 a pack to help pay healthcare costs. Members of the Oklahoma Hospital Association gathered at the state capitol Tuesday to discuss the need for new revenue to help state healthcare providers. Officials say that without a cigarette tax increase, Oklahoma may have to cut the reimbursement rate for services provided to Medicaid patients by 25%.
Still to come on OU Nightly, NASA launches something other than a rocket.
And plus, as Lindsay Street construction continues, one business stays optimistic. Stay with us.
Five, 4, 3.
Launched not only their Atlas V rocket today, but also their new 360-degree video feed. This was the first ever 360-degree live stream launch, and the camera virtually placed the public at the bottom of the rocket during the launch. Typical viewing distance is usually miles away, but the live stream enabled viewers to get a pad's eye view.
Buy local, shop local. That's the motto of several small shops in Norman. Kylie Cap shows us a store that has an interesting Christmas twist year-round.
1979, a group of 3 women opened up a little store to sell their handcrafted goods. Christmas Expressions is a local shop that encourages college students and residents of Norman to shop small.
You know, we monogram, we paint. We've got a lot of companies that you can't find at the box stores.
It's Christmas time year-round at this local shop on Lindsay Street. From ornaments to greeting cards to sorority monogramming, Christmas Expressions has it all.
You don't get that on the internet, and you don't get that with your big box stores. So that's what makes the uniqueness about our store.
With the construction on Lindsay Street, staying in business has been difficult. But thanks to the support of the regular customers, Christmas Expressions has been able to stay in business.
But we definitely appreciate that people find us, dig through that mess out there and find us.
This fun, unique shop is optimistic and continues to impress its customers.
It has been a struggle, but you know, we've been here since 1979 and we're going to continue on.
So get out and support your local businesses, especially the ones that have Christmas in their name. What's not to love about that? Kylie Caps, OU Nightly.
The aftermath of the United Airlines scandal, another Uber executive leaving the company, and upcoming advancements in virtual reality. We now turn to Allie Stratton with OU Nightly's Business Report. Allie?
Yes, Anna. So by this point, we are all too familiar with the scene from last week's United Airlines crisis. But the video of a passenger that went viral, the video that went viral of a passenger being dragged off a United flight has prompted people to take a closer look at all aspects of the company. So how is United faring market-wise? We know the stock dropped, though not drastically. It still hasn't returned to pre-disaster levels. United Airlines shares closed at about $77 today. They were at $70 yesterday and $71 before the crisis. United's first quarter earnings report was also released Monday. It shows profits plunging 69% in the first 3 months of the year, but this was before the incident even happened. The most recent updates on the crisis, CEO Oscar Munoz says no one at United Airlines has been fired and there was never a consideration to fire anyone. And an Uber Technologies executive who worked on the company's self-driving vehicle program is leaving the company. Sharif Marakbi, Uber's VP of Global Vehicle Programs, marks the third executive to depart from Uber in the last 2 months. Uber did not give a reason for Marakbi's departure. However, Google's self-driving car project recently sued Uber, alleging intellectual property theft. The company has been hit with a series of scandals in the past few months. And Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says the social media company is setting its sight on the realm of virtual reality. Speaking at the company's annual developers conference, Zuckerberg announced Facebook's plans to mix the physical and digital worlds. In 2014, Facebook bought a virtual reality company for $2 billion, which indicated its commitment to developing the technology. But virtual reality has struggled to take off. At today's conference, Zuckerberg showed commitment to the technology, revealing plans for 3D avatars, a virtual reality headset, and other features through its camera. Now, guys, I'm not sure how much you've heard about virtual reality, but I actually looked through some of the ideas that were announced at today's conference. One of them was leaving notes at restaurants, virtual notes for your friends, saying what dishes you liked, what you liked about the restaurant, kind of giving a review. Another one was combining face recognition with virtual reality.
Right.
So if you can't remember someone's name.
I need that. I can remember faces, but I'm always like,
horrible with names.
Yeah. So exciting things to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Allie.
guys.
Allie. Still ahead on OU Nightly, Kylie Cap says Friday could be a busy day with weather.
That's right. It's quiet and calm and sunny out there right now, but the threat for severe weather does return on Friday. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kylie Capps. Okay, so it's quiet and warm and sunny out there right now. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Current conditions across Norman, 78 right now. Again, sunny. Those winds still remaining strong. It was extremely foggy, though, this morning. Visibility was very low. Look at that dew point, though. It's kind of humid out there right now. Okay, so next chance for some severe weather is going to be on Friday. Right now, my radar forecast does show, here's that cold front starting to come through. We're watching the formation of 2 fronts. Once those 2 fronts do come through, that will be our chance for some severe weather. Here's that cold front on Thursday early morning out in the Panhandle. Once that does start to come through, storms forming along that cold front, forming along that line. Okay, so chance for some scattered showers Thursday night. This is Thursday around 6 p.m. There's chance for some heavy rain. Flooding is going to be that main concern. Here's a stationary boundary forming just south of Oklahoma City. That, again, is going to be localized heavy rainfall Friday early morning. There's that low pressure system starting to make its way through, again, along that boundary. Here's that heavier rain starting Friday around 2 p.m. This is going to be our best chance for some severe weather. Those rain chances increasing Thursday night into Friday morning. However, if it is rainy on Friday morning, that's going to lower our chance for some severe weather on Friday, especially Friday evening. Okay, so that's that radar forecast. That's what we're looking at for some severe weather. Wednesday evening, though, chance for some rain and storms, 20% up in the northern half of the state. And then Thursday, though, here's going to be our best chance Thursday evening. Chances increasing throughout Thursday night, 60% chance for us. Future rainfall, we could see almost 2 inches of rain by Friday evening. Okay, so there it is, 1.2 inches for us here in Norman. And then Lows across the entire state, lower 60s. Day planner across the day tomorrow, 82 by 5 p.m. Those winds increasing. It's going to be windy tomorrow. Highs across the entire state, lower 80s. And then for our 7-day forecast, there it is. There's that chance of rain on Friday, 80%. And then on Saturday, dropping down again. It's looking like it's going to be a rainy weekend, especially at the beginning of the weekend, guys.
Well, it sounds like this year we've needed some rain.
We
so
do.
Thanks so much, Kylie.
Thank you.
And plenty to talk about on the spring sports scene. Kenneth Dare is on his way with the latest on this week's national championship gymnasts.
And the girls won last weekend, and the guys tried this week. And OU softball gets a surprise home game tonight. Sports is next.
Welcome back. The OU women's gymnastics team finished off their 3rd national title in 4 years this weekend. So now it's time for the inevitable media tour to kick off. It started with superstar freshman Maggie Nichols and star sophomore Brenna Dow dropping by Sooner Sports Pad to show off the latest hardware. Today, more of the gymnasts are appearing on Sooner Sports Spotlight. Senior Chase Capps is throwing out the first pitch at tonight's softball game, and there are radio appearances and TV interviews all set up with media from all over Oklahoma for the rest of the week.
The energy and just the magic in the air on Saturday night was incredible. We could all feel it after our first rotation, sticking all of our dismounts, and it was so incredible, and it's something I'll never forget.
I agree with Brenna. You know, definitely that feeling will be in my mind forever, and it was quite magical.
You can see that entire episode of Sports Pad right after this newscast. And speaking of after this newscast, OU softball will face off against North Texas tonight at 6:30. This game was supposed to take place on March 28th, but was postponed and has now been moved to Norman due to field conditions down at UNT. The Sooners are currently on a 15-game winning streak and look to continue their success. After losing 4 games straight and suffering their first sweep of the season, OU baseball hopes to bounce back as they take on Dallas Baptist University tonight as well at 6:30. This will be the final away game of OU's 8-game stretch before they return to Norman this Friday. After a tough road stretch, the Sooners will definitely be happy to be back home. Former Sooner basketball star Peyton Little signed a training camp deal with the Atlanta Dream earlier today. She will start her career this Saturday at the Riverside Epicenter. Little started 96 of the 99 games she played with the Sooners and finished 25th all-time in scoring. Last night, NBA playoff action, Cleveland took on the Indiana Pacers in a game that was a lot closer than Cavalier fans hoped it would be. LeBron James and the rest of the team built a lead of 18 late in the 3rd, but the 4th quarter was a different story. The Pacers started to dial in as the game went on, getting within just 4 points of the Cavs. But Cleveland was just too much to handle as they took the game 117-111. And the second game of the night was a matchup between the Spurs and the Grizzlies. Now, the first game of the series ended on the Spurs dominating Memphis, and this game was no different. Kawhi Leonard had another impressive night as he dropped a playoff career high of 37 points, most of those coming from the free throw line. The game ended in a score of 96-82. And after the game, the head coach of the Grizzlies, David Fizdale, feels his team did not get the respect they deserve from the refs.
But I'm not going to let them treat us that way. You know, I know Pop's got pedigree and I'm a young rookie, but they're not going to rook us. That's unacceptable. That was unprofessional. My guys dug in that game and earned the right to be in that game, and they did not even give us a chance.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely complain about the refs a lot when my team is playing, and so I can understand his frustration.
Right. Yeah, especially with these playoffs coming around, I feel like it's very important for refs to be very serious.
It's really intense.
Thank you,
Thanks, Kenneth.
Well, still to come on OU Nightly, a small-town Oklahoma cop writes an unusual ticket.
I'm Cheyenne Plummer at the update desk. Police have identified a person of interest in the death of a newborn. Officers found the baby in a trash bin in Enid. The medical examiner is working to determine how the child died. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Cheyenne. And the police chief of Sperry, Oklahoma says he issued himself a citation for speeding, but only after being caught on video. Chief Justin Birch posted an apology on the department's Facebook saying he was wrong for traveling at 75 and 80 miles per hour. He also said he had a reason for being in a hurry, but that he still must be held accountable. The ticket was more than $300, and Birch says he'll pay it in full.
Now, Emily, I have quite a few parking tickets. I can't afford to write one for myself.
I cannot either.
Kylie, can we take a look at weather?
All right, guys, this evening it's going to stay warm, only getting down to 65 at midnight. Those winds increasing, though, throughout the night.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.